What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give my idea on why I think Bitcoin won't stop dropping after it breaks through the 19.5 or the 20k area. Before we start, I need to mention I am not a financial advisor. Please don't make any trades based on the ideas that we are going to talk about in this video. Thank you. Now what I have here is the Bitcoin weekly chart. Now, if we pay close attention to the weekly chart, we can see that in the last number of weeks, I think it's 6 or 7, we've had nothing but red candles. I think that's the most in Bitcoin's history in a row, if I'm not mistaken, but it's been pretty ugly. Some can say that it was because of what happened with Luna, which I 100% agree with. Trust in crypto has, in my opinion, it's diminishing a little bit, especially after Tether depegged right after USDT momentarily. It was nothing crazy, but it still happened. Just to show you that nothing is safe in crypto. If we check where Bitcoin is on the weekly chart, it is just on this support. This is a key level right here. If Bitcoin breaks this key level, it is downward momentum like crazy until the 19.5 area. This is the next area of support. Everyone's talking about 19.5, 20,000 Bitcoin. Okay, that's cool. But I hope everyone realizes that Bitcoin has a stronger support at the 13.5, 13,000 area. And I'll get into that later. But if we look at Bitcoin and then we go ahead and look at the SPX, we can notice similarities. If we go to March 2020 for Bitcoin was at around $9,000, had a low of 378. That's a pretty significant drop. That was the COVID drop. But as we all know, after money started getting pumped, what happened? We saw nothing but upward momentum like crazy. And the problem with this upward momentum is when you combine all the factors that we have pinned against us right now in the economy, we have inflation, we have a housing market that's about to crash, we have a whole bunch of things happening all at once, creating what seems to be a perfect storm. I wonder, how far will the stock market crash? Now, when I'm trading Bitcoin or I'm trading crypto, when it comes to stocks, and I still look at the dollar index, I still look at dollar yen to get an assumption of what price and what the dollars for other countries are doing. But when I look at the SPX, I also start to notice that for the last number of weeks has been nothing but red, just as well as Bitcoin, as we see here. So what I have on my screen is the support and the resistance. The support being the green, the resistance being the red. I have it mapped out for the SPX and Bitcoin. Super easy to follow along. In my personal opinion, we've already printed our high. Our high was in December, December-ish, November. I say between November and December we had our high. As we can see here, between November and December we had our high. November was the high for Bitcoin. I remember it touched like 67,000 again, closed at 69,000. But after that, nice big drop. So, when we get the ideas of the SPX and we look at it, we can understand that for the most part, Bitcoin follows it. So, when we start to understand that this might have been the high, this might be the lower high, this is the initial drop downwards, will we continue to go down, or will we print another lower high to continue going down after this lower high is printed? Now, in my opinion, that's what has to happen. I don't think Bitcoin can reach the all-time highs again. But what it can do with the right movement from the stock market and the SPX, which is, we all know what can happen. We all know who controls it. It's not out of the window that this is a scenario. But we can very well see Bitcoin reach around the 47,000 area. Now, when we have that idea in mind, these are some bounce ideas. To continue going down, we must go up. It has to have some sort of a relief. I mean, look how many negative weeks we've had. Any trader would know after this amount of weeks, we need some sort of bounce. Whether it's going to continue going up or whether it's going to continue going down, we need some sort of bounce for a healthy, it has to be healthy. Now, the problem is the state of the economy. Now, if we are having nothing but bad news and bad news and bad news and interest rate hikes and the Fed putting fear in the market, the stock market is going to crash. It's going to crash way, way more than it already has. I don't even think this is the beginning of it. If we look at the SPX on the daily, it's a little bit easier to see. Each candlestick represents one day for those who don't know. So one of these candlesticks is one full day of trading. Now, will we go back to previous COVID levels? In my opinion, it's very probable. How far will the stock market crash? Why am I asking this question? Because based on the principle that Bitcoin is following the SPX by 71%, I want to know what the SPX is going to do next. What is the economy going to do? What is the stock market going to do? What will the next interest rate hikes come at? Would it be 0.25, 0.5, or 0.75? All of this will affect the market. If you placed any shorts in the last number of weeks, happy days. You made a killing. But for those who didn't, and for those who didn't catch it, we can possibly see a bounce. So what if Bitcoin does break the 20,000 or the 19,000 mark? I think people are already going crazy. People are going absolutely insane. If you bought up here, everyone knows your pain. But right now, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty in this market and in all the markets around the world. We have a raging war going on. We've got people starting to spend less. People are not buying houses anymore. Consumer spending is going down. People are not going out. There's mass shootings going on every day. All of this affects the market. And if you want to be a successful trader in crypto, you must understand the principle that Bitcoin follows the SPX. You can map out your next move or get a general idea of what Bitcoin is going to do based on the economy, based on the stock market, based on the SPX. We must understand that this is a different time. This might be the biggest financial failure in all history. We just don't know. So, based on these ideas of Bitcoin following the SPX, understanding that if this continues to drop, Bitcoin will likely drop with it. Where will Bitcoin stop at? Will it bounce from the 19 or the 20 area? Or will it continue going down to where it has more support? And when I talk about more support, you've got 1, 2, 3 hits to support, and what happened? Into resistance, and what happened? Boom, flipped it. This is major support. This is also major support, but not as strong as the 13,000. In the worst case scenario, like I said, we do have one of the biggest crashes in financial history. We got to understand that the major support is at 13,000. SPX, if this continues to break downwards, crashes past pre-COVID levels, past goes down past 2008 levels, well, people will be rioting in the streets. People will be going crazy, ballistic. We got to understand that in trading, news controls a lot of it. It controls a lot of it. And when you're getting negative news and negative news and negative news one day after another, and you've seen nothing but red days, most traders are anticipating a bounce. That's the perfect time for the market makers to push price down. When people are expecting a bounce, they're expecting to go long. They're so thrilled that they see all of these red candles, but they ignore the fact that this crash is just starting. This is nothing like the crashes we've seen before. This is going to be a major crypto meltdown. If the SPX, the stock market, and the economy continues to tank, which is very, very, very likely. If we look at Bitcoin and what it's been doing for the last couple of days, it's just been consolidating. It's just ranging right now. It's just ranging in this area. That's it. It hasn't moved here. Where is price going to go? Is price getting ready to shoot back up? Are we going to see 46,000 Bitcoin? Are we going to see the SPX move up as well? It's 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. The markets are open. We know what Bitcoin does on the daily. We know what Bitcoin does in the hour. Look at this. It's just ranging. It's very hard to understand what Bitcoin, what XPX, what all of this will do. But all we know is what we're given in front of us. This news, this negative news. Russia this, Ukraine this, China this, monkeypox this, all of these thises. And that is just adding to the storm. On top of the financial shit show that the United States has on its hands, we have a much bigger problem. What will it do to the price of Bitcoin? I hope we get that short-term bounce idea so I can put in some longs and I can enjoy a couple dollars. I hope this is what we get. Maybe it bounces back to the 34th and goes straight down to 19. We don't know. All we can understand is the general idea of where it will go. Thank you guys so much for watching my video and listening to what I had to say. If you felt otherwise, please leave your comment in the comments. I want to understand. I want to understand other people's thought process, their opinions. I want to understand where they come from, their mindset with this market. It will make me an overall better trader, a smarter investor, and it'll make you one too. Thank you guys so much.